This is Brighton TV and this is the match preview for Brighton vs Man City. And in our last league game versus Wolves, we came back from 3-1 down to draw 3-3 and we ended up opening the scoring through Connolly and Trossard. He had a great game and he put a great ball into the box and Connolly ended up getting before the defender to score. Connolly was constantly being there, being a nuisance for the Wolves defenders, but unfortunately he did get injured just before the half-time whistle. And 3 of their goals, I don't think any of them should have been conceded. The first one was from a corner and they ended up crossing it again and they were in the box. We had 2 big chances to go and block the cross before it happened and we didn't, and that was poor. And then they ended up going and scoring a great header. Sanchez couldn't do anything about that. But then the second goal, it was an own goal and I think we could have done better with that. And the third goal, it was just Burn. He had a really horrific game and he ended up giving a needless penalty away and Wolves ended up converting that to make it 3-1 before half-time. And Biss, he ended up getting a yellow card, so Bissouma is not available for the City game and he looked like somebody who was potentially being sent off. And I saw him making a few fouls and I was scared that we'd end up being down to 10 men and we'd completely lose the game. But Pot ended up changing that for half-time for Davy Proper and Proper had a great game. And Proper ended up controlling the midfield in that second half and another player came on, Zakiri, he came on for the injured Connolly and for that second half, straight away we ended up getting a penalty. Zakiri and Malpe linked up well, winning the penalty and Malpe ended up scoring. And then we were just constantly on the attack, trying to go and break down Wolves. And we ended up doing it from a corner, Trossard's cross into Dunk and Dunk ended up heading it and to make it 3-3. And we did have a couple of other half chances. But when you look at the Wolves chance right at the end, the player had a free header inside the box. He really should have gone and scored that and we were lucky he headed it over the bar. On Sunday we ended up playing Newport. I was surprised at the strength of the team that we ended up playing. It looked like Potter really wanted to go for the FA Cup. But the pitch didn't help and we were really poor that game. Just throughout, we didn't really have too many attacks. Bissouma and March, both of them played great. March, he ended up being so important in our left-hand side. A lot of the attacks there, he was contributing, including the goal he scored. But just overall, we didn't create that many chances. And Newport, they played well and they ended up limiting our chances a lot. But the fact that we couldn't go and break them down, we had so little chances compared to what we normally do. We need to go and improve that. And right at the end, 96th minute, Steele, he ended up making a huge mistake and Newport ended up scoring an equaliser, last kick of the game, to go and send it to extra time. And that's not what we want. When you play a full-strength team, for it to go to extra time when you have a midweek game, it doesn't help the team's fitness at all. Steele ended up redeeming himself, where during the penalty shootout, Steele made 4 saves and he went from 0 to hero very quickly. Despite his huge mistake, I thought his distribution was great that game. And it's going to be a very hard game against City, seeing as we have 9 first-team players unavailable, including the likes of Bissouma, as I mentioned, Lamptey, Connolly and Lallana and Welbeck. They're just 5 of the 9 players who are unavailable. When you look at City's form, they're on insane form. They've won their last 6 games in a row. They're unbeaten in 13 games and they've only conceded 3 goals in that run. They've become a lot better in defence and attacking wise. They're still very good and will have to have an insane game. And City, we know the players that you need to watch out for. Their attack, like Sterling, De Bruyne, Foden, they are some great attackers. But now you have to look at their centre-back partnership. Stones and Diaz, both of them have created a great partnership and that's why they've only conceded 3 goals in their last 13 and our players are going to be increasingly harder for that, judging as we went to extra time, needed 120 minutes. So that's why we're going to be even more exhausted, which makes this challenge even more difficult. And my lineup for this game, I'd play a 3-4-1-2, and in goal I'd play Sanchez with a back three of Bernardo, Dunk and Webster. And looking at the players we have available, I think it would be best to play Bernardo as a left centre-back, and he's played there before, and when he has played left-back sometimes, it does look like he can go and tuck in to make a third centre-back, and that's what I think he should do for this game. He's great in the air, he goes and wins so many balls, and I think that will be very useful, especially against City. And Dunk and Webster, they've had a great partnership recently, and Webster especially, playing as that right-sided centre-back, he's able to run into the midfield very easily, and he progresses the ball really well, and he's able to pick a pass. Webster's great there. And the wing-backs, I play March and Veltman, and March, we know why he's one of our best players this season, and I think we need to keep the back three, so that's why I play Veltman at right wing-back. And the midfielders, I play White and Propper, and White, he has played in the midfield before, and as I said, we have so many injuries, so we need to go and accommodate for that, so that's why I played White and Propper there, and I don't think Gross will be able to go and play this game, because he's played 120 minutes versus Newport. He'll be way too tired to go and play this game as well. And in the 10 role, I think it will be Alexis Mac Allister. And for me, when I look at the players' fitnesses, along with the injuries, it was between Alexis Mac Allister and Trossard. And Trossard, he's a player I've talked about how he can be so inconsistent. One game he's amazing, the next game he's poor. Versus Wolves, he was a great player. He was so important, arguably man of the match. Then versus Newport, he had an absolute stinker, giving the ball away 24 times in the limited game time he had. And Alexis Mac Allister, I think, will be better for him to go and play this match. And the front two, I think Malpe will be too tired, and with Welbeck out and Jahanbakhsh, he's also out for this game. That's why I think will be Zakiri and Tawu. And Zakiri, he has played limited minutes, and I think he's great at holding the ball up, and that could be key for us to try and get the ball up the pitch. And Tawu, he's really good at progressing the ball up the pitch, especially with his pace. He'll be great for going in behind of the counter-attack. And my score predictions for this game, I think it will have to be looking at the injuries. We have to make it damage limitations, and I think it will be 2-0 City, and I think De Bruyne and Foden will score for them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Brighton TV and follow us on Instagram.